Hello there, Only One Kenobi here, Only One. Welcome back to another episode of Only One Fans. Yeah, it has been a while since I've done one of these, but it is good to be back and get things kickstarted to continue some more episodes. And if you are new around here, to my channel or to this show and have never heard of it before, all it is a bit of a variety show I started earlier on this year for 3 3/4 inch, obviously. And there's 3 main sections to it. I open a figure, I showcase a 3 3/4 inch vehicle, which I quite enjoy shooting and doing that. And also, I answer questions.
Okay, Nick, here's a question for you.
So, when I started this, I had the idea to encourage people to send me a voice message because I thought that was just an interesting spin on everything. I've loved it as well because it's great to hear how you sound as opposed to hearing me all the time, blah, 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 blah. And it's been really funny, actually, to hear your voices. And there's some great people who watch my channel, and it's good to hear your voice. However, you don't have to leave a voice message if you do want to ask me something or have a point or an opinion of your own about anything to do with Star Wars, full stop. Just drop it in the comments, preferably of this video, because it keeps everything together. But as for this show, thank you for joining me. I got to say one thing, that I did miss a load of people's messages on Instagram recently. They've kind of got a section on Instagram where it's kind of like a junk folder, and it's called, I think it's called requests. I thought I basically kept an eye on that folder. However, I dug deep into it, man, and there were people I had not replied to for maybe up to 3 years ago. So I replied to each and every one of those people not long ago, a couple of weeks ago now, and it was nice, actually. I got a lot of nice replies. People just said, yeah, don't worry about it, you know what I mean? They were pretty cool about it, but still, I just wanted to address that. But in there, I did find a couple of voice messages that I had never heard until now, so I will be featuring one of those guys later on. That would be awesome. But apart from that, let's just get back into it, man. Thank you for joining me. This is Only One Fans, episode 13 now, I believe. And I don't know what I'm going to start with, man. What are we going to begin with here? Let's start with one voice. David Stevens.
Hi, Nick. David Stevens here from the Outer Rim, sending you a one voice for the next Only One Fans show, as promised. My question concerns R2-D2, as he was always my favourite vintage Kenner figure growing up, and I remember fondly playing with the Sensorscope version as a child. I also remember you saying that you founded your channel on wanting to see R2 in the TVC line, so there's a link there. So this is a question of 2 parts. In your opinion, what is the definitive 3.75 inch R2-D2? I mean, we've had the vintage R2s, the solid dome, Sensorscope and pop-up lightsaber versions. We've also had R2 with a cargo net. We've had R2s that make noises. We've had one that can be paired up with a battle droid and set fire to him in the 30th anniversary collection. We've had carbon scored R2-D2s and Dagobah dirty R2s and clean ones and pristine ones. Ones that serve drinks, ones with 2 legs, 3 legs. I mean, the list is endless, isn't it? But which R2-D2 from all of the 3.75 inch R2s, which one of those gets the rosette for best in show? And secondly, and perhaps more importantly, which R2 is your personal favourite? Because I suppose best is not always the same as favourite, right? Keep up the good work, my friend, and I'll speak to you soon. David out.
Thank you, David, for the message. And what a great voice you have, man. You should be on the radio. This is such a hard one to answer. And while you were talking, David, I did a little bit of footage, B-roll or whatever you want to call it, of me just filming the shelves, and I was just basically pointing at all the R2s I have. I do like the ones with the silver dome though, yeah, so that does, but you might notice I have him facing that way because there's not much going on in the front there. He looks pretty basic. Same with this one. He fits the bill for the trade there, because the droid sale, because he looks awful. This is the Power of the Force 2 one, I think. He's got stuff going on with this one that's awesome. Like, for example, hang on, I'm just trying to focus on him. He's got that kind of holographic sticker or something on him that makes him twitch. Just that's good, but his eye is way too small. He has the restraining bolt on him there, so I quite like that, but I have him facing that way. He's got dirt and dust which suits Tatooine, so that's why I have him here and facing that way. Oh, there you go, see what I mean? Right, that's just that, but one of my favorites is this one's great. It's so sharp and it's clean. That's the Attack of the Clones one from the orange card line. I do like that one. I wanted, right, the vintage collection one to be like that one. I would have been happy even if they'd repack that, because in the 40th anniversary 6-inch, they gave us an R2 which had everything, you know, including the Attack of the Clones jetpacks, even though he was on a New Hope card. So that would have done me, but instead what they gave you was they gave you the R2-D2 on the New Hope card, VC-140, I believe, and he was kind of dirty, and here he is, he's right in here. I have him, I have two of them actually, but he really works nicely in Poe's X-Wing. Let me get him out, just because there's lovely weathering on this ship and he has it, but I would never say that he looked like that in New Hope. Maybe that they were going for a space battle dirt look. It works on Tatooine, maybe on Tatooine. I was going to say Dagobah then, but he definitely works as a Dagobah R2. I have my other one on the shelf, except you must excuse my whole Empire Strikes Back shelves are total disarray, ladies and gentlemen, so I won't even go there, but I have an R2 just like this on my Dagobah shelf because he works, but maybe he's not dirty enough for Dagobah. But is that the definitive? It's a good R2. I don't have an answer for you, man. I don't think the definitive has been done. There's ones that are better than others, and see, that's a great one, but this as well is a favourite. I was filming this before only because it matches him so well. I know he might not be that shiny on the Tantive 4, but I just wanted this combo here of R2 and 3PO to be a total tip of the hat to the vintage 80s, because we all know that R2's chrome dome shone up a good one with vac metal, and he's vac metal, and so I just love those two together. The only problem with this one here is he yellows really badly. I mean, if they could take aspects of that with, well, this guy doesn't have any accessories, you see. You mentioned the drinks holder one. Oh, and he's down here. This guy, oh, I've just lost the little lightsaber that was in the, no matter, I saw where it landed. This guy has got this going on. They've reissued this figure as well recently. He's got all that, so I think they could make a definitive. So that one is really good, but side by side with this guy, I think the one on the left, see, he looks better, man. If they could take aspects of this, mix it with this, and maybe have a bit of chrome shine like that, then I think we'd have a definitive. But I do love R2 figures, and it's one of those characters that you just cannot have enough R2-D2 figures. So there you go. Brilliant. You can never have too many R2-D2s, ladies and gentlemen. Never. And here's a question here. This is not a voicemail. This is from somebody called Burble74. This was this morning I read this message. And they commented on my review of the new retro collection, the unpunched ones that came in that lovely commemorative box. He said, are the card backs just as flimsy as the earlier releases? And I didn't address that, obviously, so I'd like to address it now. And here is the ironic thing about that, man. I would have answered you actually straight there and then this morning when I read that, because I did a video. My last video was when I was looking at the stickers in the vintage collection and the retro collection, and I think I featured pretty much every sticker that has ever existed on the front of a card back. So if you've not seen that video, check it out. And it's kind of for boffins, that one, but you know, I could have answered your question by, in that video I featured both the versions of Leia, just to show you the fact that the two stickers are different on this, because retro is sort of like parallel there, and this one is on a diagonal angle. But the answer to your question is yes, man. I'd say the cardstock on the new ones, which are unpunched, ladies and gentlemen, they most definitely are firmer card, man. Yeah, oh yeah, they are, man. Does that answer your question? Of course it does. That one, I mean, they could be thicker. They're nowhere near as thick as they were in the 80s, but that has got more beef on the bone, man. Yeah, that's way flimsier. So if you want thicker cardstock, ladies and gentlemen, go for these ones. And they're unpunched, and they don't have anything in the bubble. However, this one, I still like this one, and I'm keeping these as variants because though they've got that stupid leaflet in the bubble, which is a pain, they do have nothing here. So they don't have a security warning thing. What is it now? Warning, choking hazard, age whatever, under 3 years old or whatever. They don't have that covering this, which I think is really important as well. So I like to have variants. So I've got 2 variants of the card now. Boom. open my figures. If I don't man, I got triggered, yeah. I just wanna open my figures. If I just wanna open my figures. Hello there, it's good to be back here with Only One fans, ladies and gentlemen. And this is something I have had for a while, I should say. And what a great figure to open for this returning episode, man. Look at it. It is, of course, RX-24 officially, but then it's known as Rex. which is a bit bizarre because he was also called Captain Rex if you are going by the lore of Star Tours, because he was the pilot, wasn't he, of the simulator ride. That's a great attraction. Back in the day, well, it still exists, but the queues aren't as big as they used to be, because there were obviously, especially in Hollywood studios, better attractions for Star Wars. Now you've got Rise of the Resistance, you've got Smuggler's Run. So Star Tours, when I was last there in 2019, you could just walk on it, but I think that's probably going to be the case, unless it's a special holiday season. But still, Rex, Lightspeed to Endor! Let's just remember that. And well, he still exists. He is in apparently that Ogre's Cantina, or whatever his name is, in Galaxy's Edge, that cantina. He's in there as a DJ, so he's DJ Rex now. They've done that deliberately just to, so that, you know, we can differentiate the two. Why am I pointing at Cody? The Rex is somewhere. Well, loads of Rexes. Anyway. Right, so I just want to give you a good look at this before I open this. I got this for a decent deal. And here is the back here. Look at this. Because I think I know I missed out on getting this and a Vader for like something like £9 back. I think it was June 2021. Bruh. So I waited patiently for another one to come by, and it did. Can't remember exactly what I did pay for this, but you know, be careful with this because this can go for a lot of money. He is one of the rarer items, I think, but people will have them. But he's in that pattern, isn't he? He's in that category of listing for a lot of money. And technically, there's probably more out there than you realise. So this is Captain Rex, and I'm, you know, on the topic of droids, I'm looking forward to putting him somewhere. I do have a lot of miscellaneous droids. If I come up here a minute. Right here on the droid sale, I don't know if I'll put him here or not. There's another droid from Star Tours. What's his name now? Let's have a look and see if I can get in on that. I can never read this. G29T. A little bizarre, those droids, but you know, they're kind of cool. Right, let's do this. Let's get him open. All right, the camera is mounted now. It would be really rude and wrong of me not to show you this in this video. Let me move back. There you go. That's the Star Speeder, the original one from Star Tours. It got a makeover, and I think it's kind of got an orangey red colour to it now. But this is so 1989 Hollywood Studios. But it goes back to earlier than that in Disney's. See, that's Rex's voice. You get in this way around though. This is the orientation. This thing, they got this toy wrong. You don't get on there. And when you press this, he says, "Welcome aboard." Hang on a minute. Oh, there's another sound effect. Hang on a minute. Yeah, you don't get on that way. On the actual simulator, on the ride is facing this way. It's facing from right to left. You get on this way, and if you open this way here, he says about lights. Hang on, let me just open this. Nothing's said there. But the lights are really cool, man. Look at that. It's really good. It's a good attraction. I think they've changed it since the first. It's changed since the first version of the ride. Now you wear 3D glasses, so they're keeping it more relevant, I suppose. But what else? I wasn't sure if there was any more sounds. I think if you press R2, he speaks. Anyway, so that's quite a nice artifact. But this is what I've always wanted to go in my 3 3/4 inch collection. And speaking of 3 3/4 inch, man, what I really actually want is a 3 3/4 inch version of that. You can get one. It's the second version of it, which is the reddy kind of orangey colour. But I tell you what, it's ridiculously expensive on the secondary market. They can't have made many. It was a Disney Parks toy. I think there was one last time I looked. There was one in Japan on sale for nearly £1,000. You know, it was ridiculous. But that would be so good. I would love that in my collection. You know, just because I love that attraction. I'm a big parks fan, man. Disney Parks, Walt Disney World, and all that. So I'm well into that, man. I'd love that. Anyway, let's do this, man. Let's get this open. And I'm just gonna, you know, ease it open. Easy, chewy. Oh, look at that. It's coming off fantastically. It's falling off the bone. He reminds me already of another droid with arms like that. Who is it? What have I got in my collection that's like that? Maybe one of those droids in the droid sale. the WED, whatever it's called. That's quite ironic that it's called the WED, because WED, Walter Elias Disney, speaking of Disney, the WED droid. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen. And there he is, Captain Rex. Look at that. He is cool, man. He means more to people, I suppose, who've been to the park and been on that ride, especially back in the day. You know, when it was Disney MGM Studios. I know, yes, it started in Disneyland first, Star Tours. Queues around the block, man. It was a massive thing that, you know, and George Lucas loves Disneyland, or loved it. That's why I was always pretty cool with Disney owning Star Wars now, because it's got a history of collaboration with Lucasfilm, but still, I like this figure, man. I went to Hollywood Studios, that it's called now, or Disney MGM, in definitely 1990 at least, the very earliest, and this was just one of those attractions, that a marquee attraction, and you just thought, wow. You know, they had Star Wars, they had Indiana Jones there, they had loads of other good stuff, but, you know, Star Wars is Star Wars, man, and that was something that Universal Studios never had. And there is Rex. It looks like you can obviously change his dome, but I don't know if you can or not, ladies and gentlemen. I might need to mount the camera in a minute, but let's have a look at this articulation. You've got the arm there, and it's just a swivel. I don't really care about that, though. It's just more about how he looks. He looks good. It's bigger than you'd expect. I thought that he would be the size of Yoda, but he's big. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe that's just a continuity fault. I don't know. I'm happy with that, man. He's a good piece of plastic. Really good. I'm going to mount the camera and see if we can move this dome. I don't know if you can or not. It feels like you could pull that out. Oh, yes, you can. Look at that, man. Look at him. He's great, isn't he? What a wacky character. I can see me putting him on the droid sale just as a... I like that shelf of mine, the Tatooine shelf you saw before that I showed you, because it's just somewhere you can put miscellaneous droids. Give them a home. I like it, man. Love it. Thank you for watching that. Nice opening, as per every episode of Only One Fans. It is nice to open something, and this is just a really good one. And I look forward to going back to Florida next summer, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, you may have seen this feature in a previous video. It is a new corner shelf I've put in here. I love these. This is not how I'm going to have it. I've just thrown a couple of figures on there, just temporarily, just to get an idea of... Look, you can see, you can get things like the Recon there, man, and you can get small ensemble sets of figures like this group of Ewoks, this group of Rebels, and these Imperials here. And then, because I've got two of them together, this is a 3-shelf corner shelf. This one has got 5 tiers, so 8 altogether, but because there's a gap there, I decided to lower it down so I could have the ATST there. I could have maybe had that come higher, but still, this is a question I received off Gary Moore, who's a patron of the channel, and I did reach out to patrons to see if they had any questions they could ask to get this episode up and running, to get us going with Only One Fans again, and he asked this question. So Gary asked, and he's a top fella, he said, "Your carded room looks awesome," and here's a shot of my carded room if you've not seen it before, "and the loose collection room is phenomenal. Thank you, Gary. With what we hope to be true, and Hasbro continues to supply us with figures, dioramas, vehicles and more, what's next for O.O.K, Only One Kenobi? Are there plans to expand to another room, continue to find ways to maximize space? Those corner shelves are great, and or consolidate what you want on display?" Well, it's a good question, Gary, and it is all about space, isn't it? You know what I mean? No pun intended. It is about space, and it is a tough thing to balance when you have got a Star Wars collection that is expanding. Well, when you talked about expanding into a third room, well, I can't do that, man. I already use both my spare rooms that are available for my Star Wars collection. So I've got my loose figure collection in here, and across the corridor is the carded room. Both are awesome rooms. But the crazy thing is, I'm going to show you an image now. I've got some of my carded collection now, would you believe it, ladies and gentlemen, spilling onto the landing now. That's how much stuff there is, because I've got so many variants of everything in TVC. That's crazy. So that is not a room, but it's a landing, and that's where the stuff is going to, man. But here's the thing, man. Generally, if I was to get rid of, let's talk about downsizing now. I would be keeping this room here, because look at it. That is Star Wars. The vehicles, the ships, the figures on display. These are the movies, the story I'm telling through 3 3/4 inch scale. You know what I'm saying? I could not get rid of this. It would be the last thing to go. The carded room, you know, there's a few items in there that would fetch a pretty penny, and you know, that would be nice as well. But you know, there's times I walk in that room and I think, man, I could never get rid of this. Seeing all the variants together, and it's just awesome as well. But it would be the first thing to go, definitely, for financial reasons as well as the space. But let's talk about this. So this was a revelation. This was awesome. I'm glad I found this, and it worked really well. I must excuse you, please. The sun is setting. This is September now, ladies and gentlemen, and I really like to shoot in natural light, but it is very dark out there, so please excuse the lighting. This was a revelation, and I have actually bought another one. I'm going to go downstairs shortly and maybe build it, because it fitted in so nicely there. It's another option for display, and what's good about it is I want to put the other one here. This is my prequel shells, and I've checked it out before I put the other one on the wall. There's enough clearance for it to go to the left of this shelf here, so that's really good. So they've been an absolute revelation. So it is all about maximizing your space and stuff, so I do highly recommend those. And yeah, thanks for your question, Gary. Very, very interesting question. How do we fit it all in, man? Crazy. So, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for this week. As I said before, I did find a few messages in my Instagram requested folder, which were buried in there, and there were a few voice messages, including one from this guy.
Hi, man. My name is Victor. I'm from Brazil. So sorry for my English. It's not that good. But I want to send a message for you because I am a huge Star Wars fan since I'm 6 years old. So I want to send a message for you to thanks for your channel, and I want to make a question,
which I will answer next week. And your English is absolutely spot on, man. Better than my Portuguese. And if you, as well, you would like to send a voice message, you can do so at either Facebook or Instagram at Only One Kenobi. And I look forward to receiving them and answering them in due course. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, I think that will do it for this week. We are looking forward, of course, to Andor, which is happening in September. She'll be bringing you some coverage and whatnot about that. And in the meantime, thank you for listening. I have been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.